Are you ready to explore the Virgo new moon and how it might impact you and your personal birth chart? Hi, my name is Tamara Bartmus, and I am so excited to dive into this in this short video with some great goodies for you. Stick to the end to know more about those. But I want to help you understand what this Virgo new moon can mean for you personally and the energy of it as a whole. Virgo energy is so helpful for us discovering ways to help ourselves heal. And sometimes through the traditional Virgo way, that is to break things down, get into the weeds a little bit, understanding the nuance and the pieces of the puzzle before we can put the puzzle back together. That's what we get to explore during this Virgo season, but also especially during the new moon when the sun and the moon come into alignment. I've created a workbook to help you discover your own Virgo nature and how you can utilize this season to explore that and utilize that for your own benefit and for the benefit of those around you. This book is currently available on Amazon, so check the description for the link below. Anytime we talk about astrology, there's always various layers to the conversation, but today I want to keep it short and simple and focus in on 3 things that I think are of most importance to be aware of during this Virgo new moon. The first thing I would encourage you to do is to explore where this Virgo new moon will impact your life. You do this by finding where is Virgo, the sign on your birth chart, and what house it's located in at 11 degrees and 4 minutes. This will give you greater insight into what area of your life or what house is being impacted most by this conjunction of the sun and the moon, which always is what happens at a new moon. Virgo is a hard worker. It is the sign of a service-oriented person who enjoys helping other people, is very and can be very skilled and very talented, very analytical. And of course, these traits can swing in a pendulum to other aspects, being super critical, becoming super perfectionistic, a workaholic, and other traits that people seem to negatively stereotype Virgos as. But at its essence, Virgo is a healing energy. It has the discipline to master and perfect a skill that can be of great service to others, as well as to themselves. The other important thing to consider with this new moon is understanding the Virgo Pisces axis. On any chart, you will see the axis playing out between all signs. The axis is the 180-degree difference between one sign to the other. So we have Virgo on one side and then Pisces on the other. We have the axis of Leo and Aquarius, or Cancer and Capricorn, Gemini, Sagittarius, Taurus, and then Scorpio, Aries, and then Libra. All this axis is to create balance and harmony between the polarizing nature of each sign to its opposing sign. This month, as the sun moves through Virgo, its opposing sign is Pisces. And because of certain placements in Pisces, this accentuates the lessons and the opportunities for learning here. The most significant aspect that I would like to highlight during this new moon is the opposition of Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Now, on a typical Virgo new moon, we are learning how to integrate the internal and the external, or the subconscious and the conscious parts of our Virgo self. And the planets of the sun and the moon help us process this integration. This begins the cycle of growth in this area of our life for the next 12 months until Virgo season begins again in the next year. And this is why it's so valuable to understand where does Virgo hit in your personal birth chart, what house, what are the other planets in this area, because it will give you more insight into why this season might be extra easy or extra hard or challenging, or what other triggers might be exposed for you during this Virgo season. With Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and it has been retrograde in Pisces for about a year now, Saturn brings a very grounded, practical energy into the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces energy tends to want to be a little bit more spiritually oriented, a little bit more dreamy, a little bit less about time management and more about healing and wholeness. And so you can see that opposition between what Pisces might like versus what Virgo might like can create some natural tension. And this is what is happening at this new moon, we actually are experiencing a tension between a lot of practical energy with Virgo that wants to be detail oriented and get into the weeds, maybe a little critical, maybe very focused on healing, very focused on nuance and details. And then the opposing energy of that is saying, let's not worry about all those details. Let's just focus on the spiritual aspects of things, which makes this opposing energy sort of uncomfortable. The opportunity of an opposition like this is to not get into a tug of war of who is right one way or the other, but to step back and see how can both energies bring their gifts and skills to the purpose of growth and development for the individual. One of the things that I love about the Virgo Pisces axis is that it is a bridge between heaven, Pisces energy, and earth, or Virgo energy. It is learning how to merge these worlds in a way that accelerates and improves our growth and healing process. For example, think of the tension between traditional Western medicine and Eastern medicine. That could be the polarity that exists between Virgo, Western medicine, and alternative medicine, Pisces. And sometimes we get caught into this dogma of it's one way or the other, very black and white. But what could happen if you bring those worlds together and merge the best of Western and the best of Eastern, and you help develop a way forward by using a bit of both? This is what this dynamic is presenting with Saturn retrograde. It really is bringing that practical energy to a spiritual plane. With Saturn in retrograde, it is a time for review. Are my spiritual habits and practices really in alignment with what I'm trying to create in my life? And then bringing that information into discussion with what needs to be healed. The challenge with Virgo Pisces can also be that one wants to be very critical and one wants to be very forgiving. And there's a fine line there of learning how to allow for both to exist. So maybe you need to be a little more discerning or critical, or maybe you need to be less critical and more compassionate. That nuance, that fine line, is something that only you will know for where you are at in your life. But both should be considered in how you move forward in these areas of your life. So make sure to identify what house is being impacted by the sun and the moon in Virgo on your birth chart. And then the opposing placement of Pisces in your birth chart with Saturn retrograde at 16 degrees, 25 minutes. Find out what house that impacts on your birth chart. These are the opposing areas of your life that will get the most attention during this particular new moon. The second point I want to highlight is this Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Now, it's been retrograding for a while in Pisces. This has been a unique time since Neptune is a ruler of Pisces, so it might make us, again, a little bit more lenient to our dreams, our visions, and our ideals. It might have also made it harder for us to manage our time, maybe caught up in illusions or delusions of our own world that we want to create, and not very practical. With it being in retrograde, it also is this invitation to evaluate your dreams, your visions, and your ideals. It's a time to evaluate your spiritual habits and practices. Neptune retrograde in Pisces also happens to be, and has been for a while now, the apex of a small talent triangle between Pluto retrograde in Capricorn currently, and then Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. So all these retrograde energies, again, are the invitation to go within and to have our world changed and for us to be changed. So there might be a shift in how we perceive our dreams, how we go about executing those. There might also be external factors that help us shift our perspective so that we can move forward to tune into your creator and receive witness and revelation for how you are to proceed in life. This is the time to do that. It is the most poignant and potent energy for this kind of transformation, internal transformation, to be happening when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your dreams, and when it comes to your resources. This small talent triangle has been happening for a while now, so this is a theme. I just want to remind us all that this is important and to not discredit it, because it will soon be moving out of this aspect pattern And these planets will be shifting from retrograde to direct, and the time will come that we now need to implement and start moving forward in the direction we received during this position of retrograde. The last thing I want to highlight is this Mercury in Leo. So Mercury just shifted today, August 28th, when I'm filming this, from retrograde to direct. Now it is still in its post-shadow period, and it will be moving into Virgo very quickly. And it won't leave its post-shadow period until around September 11th. Mercury's placement as the ruler of Virgo and this particular new moon is something helpful and interesting to reflect on. Maybe it is time for you to be a little bit more courageous in expressing your viewpoints and your opinions, to share your voice and your thoughts outside of your normal circle of influence. To support you during this new moon period, I highly recommend utilizing a blend of essential oils called Digest Zen. This has anise, peppermint, ginger, caraway, coriander, tarragon, and fennel, and is amazing for supporting all kinds of digestive needs. When we are processing or in overload or overwhelm, it should be something we are using every day. You can use it in multiple formats. You can put a drop under your tongue. You can put it in a capsule. You can also rub it on your stomach. For people that are struggling with any kind of situation where it's hard to internalize or to process, to digest and metabolize an experience or multiple experiences in your life. It helps for when you are feeling overstimulated by life, when you know you are seeking dopamine activities that have no real good benefit for you, it's just empty air. This is a beautiful oil to help integrate and metabolize these things so that you can move forward. Sometimes when we're disconnected from our physical needs because of the overwhelm or the overstimulation, this is exactly what we need to really step back into our bodies, move the energy through or the emotions through, and be able to move forward. It helps us to let go of all the old so that we can stay open to the new. You will find this oil to be one of the staples of every home that really wants a natural solution to support anyone's digestive needs. The other reason I highlight Digest Zen as a special essential oil is because Virgo right now is getting a reinfusion of energy and exposure of what is stuck or needing to move through these areas of the body. Virgo rules the lower lobes of the liver, the pancreas, the spleen, the appendix, the colon, the abdominal cavity, the diaphragm, all of these important parts of the gut of our body. So the utilizing of a blend like Digest Zen is super valuable to help refresh this part of the body. In fact, this would be the perfect month to begin a cleanse. And if you have more questions on the cleanse that I recommend, let me know in the comments and I will connect with you there. If you are new to essential oils or to astrology and want to learn how to merge those two together, I recommend you signing up for my Zodiac sign-specific essential oil cheat sheet. This will help break down what oils can support you on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. You might be a Leo sun, but you also might be a Gemini moon or a Scorpio Saturn. Whatever your planetary alignments are, this will give you insight in what you can do to support yourself in that area of your birth chart. I hope you found this helpful as you prepare for the Virgo new moon. If anything, take some time to just be connected to the earth. Virgo is an earth sign, but also a mutable sign. So if you have a strong mutable energy, that would mean a lot of planetary energy in signs like Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, or Sagittarius. This would be a time to really pay attention to and become more aware of what's showing up in your world. I hope you make the most of it, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the Pisces full moon.